The first science fiction book that we know about was written in the 2nd century A.D. So at least since then, men and women have been writing about and dreaming about the stars and planets. But Mars has always fascinated them more than any place. For a moment, look and listen to some of the things that people have been thinking and fantasizing about Mars for hundreds of years. Some saw on its surface a vast network of canals crisscrossing the planet, obviously the work of intelligent beings. Some decided it was massive engineering works to provide water for irrigation and commerce. Some predicted that with larger telescopes, one would see the cities of Mars. There must be cities. What would the people be like? Cool, unsympathetic intellects, some said, looking cross-faced at the planet Earth with envious eyes. Planning an invasion? Earth people speculated so. This is how a man on Mars would look, according to Monsieur Edmond Perrier of the French Museum of Natural History. This film was made in 1919. Gives an idea of what people were thinking about Mars and Martians 57 years ago. This was sober scientific stuff. France offers a great prize to the first man to establish communication with any planet. Professor Pickering of Harvard suggests the following plan. Professor Robert W. Wood of Johns Hopkins University suggests a huge black spot to attract the attention of Mars. Detail of the black spot. From a great distance, the effect would be flashes of light. Monsieur Flammarion suggests a plan which would probably prove most effective. These lights could be made to wink simultaneously. And someday, perhaps,
to destroy the Earth.
This is how millions of Americans first saw Mars, as Hollywood imagined it. Films made in the 30s. No question in these films that there was life on Mars, and it was evil, menacing life to be combated by Flash Gordon.
Do you see that beam of light?
Yes, very clearly.
Then I made a terrible mistake. From my observations on Earth, I thought it was coming from Mongo. It's not. It's coming from Mars.
Mars?
They deserve no mercy at our hands.
We don't expect any mercy.
But really, if one talks about science fiction and Mars, one must talk about the man who, more than any other, created the dream. 64 years ago, 1912, the story Under the Moons of Mars was published. The author listed as Norman Bean. Now, he dropped that pen name when he published his next story. Used his real name, Edgar Rice Burroughs. Writing about Mars before he ever dreamed of Tarzan. Burroughs wrote 10 novels about Mars. He was tremendously impressed with the work of the astronomer Percival Lowell. Lowell had told us that there was life on Mars. Edgar Rice Burroughs told us what it was like. He described tharks and thoats and therns and green people 15 feet tall with 4 arms and 2 legs. He told us they could live 1,000 years. They had no language because they could read minds, had no art, no homes, and no love. They hated to work, disliked loud music and noise. The constant senseless chatter of millions of earthly voices, we were told, would drive them insane. Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote, "On Mars, no man lies. If he cannot speak the truth, he is silent." People took to Burroughs' fictional world, maybe because in ways it sounded a little better than the one they were in. Of all his fantasies about Mars, Burroughs once said, "I have great fun with my imaginings, and I can appreciate in a small way the swell time God must have had in creating the universe." If one is inclined to dismiss all of this as foolishness, the stuff that science fiction writers have been feeding us about Mars all these years, one should remember that what they have given us is a dream. Not accurate, but inspiring. And the young boys and girls who saw the films and read the books and went out and looked up into the sky with a sense of wonder a generation ago are the astronomers and physicists and engineers who now have put Viking on Mars. The contemporary science fiction writer Ray Bradbury says we wouldn't be on Mars tonight if there had never been an Edgar Rice Burroughs.